Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So I have a couple candle reviews for you today, and we are kicking it off with Gladys LaFontaine. This candle was big enough to deserve a name, and I think Gladys is quite fitting. So everyone meet Gladys. This is a Candleberry cookie jar. And I became obsessed with getting one of these cookie jars after I finally decided to dive into Candleberry. 2023 is definitely the year where I am trying some different candle companies. Don't you worry your pretty little heads off, because I'm still buying from my usual favorites. However, I've decided to allocate some of my candle funds to trying some new things, because there is obviously a huge wide world of home fragrance out there, and I don't want to limit myself. I tend to stick with what is safe for me personally, but I think that while that is great, it also limits me, and it, kind of limits me in terms of content here on YouTube, so I'm branching out. Anyway, Candleberry was a brand that was recommended by many of you time and time again, and I decided to initially start with their wax melts. Now I gotta tell you, in terms of like the performance of the wax melts, they're not my favorite. I still, over like all other wax melts, prefer Scentsy. Just, they're the longest lasting, they have the most fragrance output for me, and a lot of the scents that I really, really love. So Scentsy is definitely a company that I always end up going back and shopping with. That being said, I have been using the wax melts from Candleberry to determine whether I like some of their fragrances or not. And it's been super helpful, because instead of buying a bunch of even their like small candle jars, which are fairly reasonable, I believe those retail for $14.99 on the website. But instead of just buying a bunch of candles, I just get the wax melts to be able to try the fragrances. That being said, because the wax melts are paraffin wax, I do think that they smell slightly different from their candles. Paraffin to me has a little bit of an undertone to it, like it smells kind of waxy to me. But it still allows me to be able to get a good sense of what fragrances they have to offer. And after my first round, the fragrance that I fell in love with was the vanilla crumb cake. And I knew after I saw these cookie jars that the fragrance that I would be most interested in would be the vanilla crumb cake. So I purchased the cookie jar in vanilla crumb cake, and I've been burning it now for just about a week. So burning it every single day for hours each day. I'm talking, I am burning this from anywhere between 6 to 7 hours a day. I think there was even one day, I think it was like Super Bowl Sunday or something, where I burned it for probably like 8 or 9 hours. This thing is, it has a lifespan. I believe the range for this cookie jar, by the way, who I have actually named, her name's Gladys LaFontaine, meet Gladys. These retail for $159.99, so they're basically $160. Now, these are what you would call like a custom order. So it might say sold out on the website, but you can still add it into your cart. They just have to basically pour the candle to order, essentially. So they do warn you of a little bit of a lead time. If you order these bad boys, you might have to wait a few extra days. I will say though, I think they had this one in stock, because I received this within like a week of placing my order. So I think with some of them you might get lucky and they have them on hand. With certain scents, you might have to wait for them to pour them for you. However, these 4-wick cookie jars burn from, wait for it, 400 to 800 hours. Now that's a big range. That's a range of like 400 hours, right? So I think for me, if this burns even 400 hours, I'm gonna call that a big fat win, because that is a lot of wax. This is 160 ounces. And this is literally a cookie jar that you can reuse after you are finished. And I do have big plans of reusing this cookie jar. I don't bake. Let's get real. I'm probably gonna put dog biscuits in here, but it's usually very easy to clean these candle jars out. I usually wash them with warm soapy water several times. And because this is glass, I might actually also, after hand washing it a couple times, put this through the dishwasher as well, just to make sure that I get all of those fragrance oils out of there and that it's safe for me to actually put food items into. The wicks that they use here, by the way, are 100% lead free, and I will say these are very, very sturdy wicks. They do not form mushroom tops really, but they do leave you with there's like a core on the inside of this candle, and it's what I call like a little ghost wick. There's a little piece of wick that will remain as you burn this candle down that you can very easily just knock off. It's white. You can tell that it's definitely like burnt wick, but it just like sometimes will hang on at the end there. And so I just knock those off before I relight the candle. And lately what I have been doing also that I think is helpful, especially with a candle of this size and with this particular type of wick, because it's nice and sturdy, is I have been wiping the wicks ever so slightly. Not a lot of pressure is needed here. Just kind of wipe the wicks with a paper towel before lighting. It helps to remove a little bit of that excess carbon residue, and I've noticed it's helping to give me a cleaner burn in terms of the wicks not getting terribly smoky on me. I will say I have not experienced any sooting with this candle at all, so like I'm actually quite impressed with the burn. I wouldn't call the burn quite as nice as the crinkle soy formula. I can kind of with this one see that line of demarcation where the wax pool typically ends up at with each burn. But that being said, so far it's been quite a clean burn, and this pooled out so fast, you guys. I was really expecting this to take hours to pull out. I remember the first time I lit it, I actually thought, oh, I really hope I don't have to go anywhere today, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I can't blow this out. I do not want this thing to tunnel. I have to let it pool completely. And within, I would say like an hour and 10 minutes at most, it had pooled from edge to edge. And when I got this candle, you guys, it was filled to the brim. The wicks were actually peeking up over the top of the candle. Like it was filled to this very lip right here, like this little inside lip right here, completely filled the whole way up. Pulled out insanely fast. Now you can see that I have this on my Chester Hurricane pedestal from Pottery Barn. I have been putting the hurricane glass part like over top. So I've had this in a hurricane essentially. I don't need to have this in a hurricane. I just think it looks really great in there. So this is just where I've kept it. I was actually planning on burning this on my kitchen island, but it does really well in the entryway here. There is a ton of surface area here in terms of wax once it completely liquefies, and that definitely is going to give you a superb strength and throw from this bad boy. I will be very curious to see if it's consistent the whole way down. But right now, I'm going to put the strength and the throw of this at easily like an 8, 8.5. This fills basically the entire downstairs of the house. Because I have it here in the entryway, it also, you know, wafts up and into the upstairs hallway. But I definitely smell it the most, I guess, prominently down here in the downstairs of the house. This, I have to kind of pick what other candles I'm burning very carefully because I have to make sure it jives with this scent. Because it is notice, like it's here, you guys. When you light this, you are going to know that you have this candle lit. I don't even think you necessarily need to light any other candles in your house. When you have this bad boy going, you certainly can. The vanilla crumb cake, I will say, pairs really nicely with any of the gourmand scentsy fragrances that I've had going. I've had some other candles from Kringle, from Homeworx, from Bath & Body Works going at the same time. And because it's a good kind of basic vanilla foodie type scent, it just goes perfectly with a lot of those different gourmand scents that I'm already loving. So you guys, overall, I feel like so far the $160 that I spent on this has been like well spent. I am very pleased with how this bad boy is performing. I can see a little bit of smoke coming off the wicks right now. I did not wipe these wicks before lighting them. So I can tell you that if you are concerned about that, definitely do that little wiping trick that I mentioned, and that completely eliminates those kind of random puffs that you see coming off. But this is not a sooty candle at all. I'm so pleased with how this is doing. I'm really impressed. And if you find a scent in this cookie jar that you think you could stand for like months, because I'm telling you right now, you're gonna have this candle for a long time. You better pick a scent that you really love. If you don't, I think you're gonna struggle to get through this. The lid, by the way, is off to the side there, so it comes with a really nice glass lid as well. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing many check-ins on this candle here. This is just check-in number 1 for you guys to show you how it's going after roughly about the first week. I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. I think so far it's money well spent. I love the scent. I honestly cannot say enough about the vanilla crumb cake. It really is true to its name. It has a delicious, like, vanilla creamy base to it. It also has that cake note as well. You can almost smell like that streusel topping with like the sugar and the flour mixture. Little bit like a tiny touch of cinnamon in here, but a really nice soft Ceylon cinnamon. This is not oppressive. This is not heavy. This is just one of those, like, when you walk into a house and you smell this, you think someone is baking some kind of cake. They're not. They're burning this massive, huge candle. So yeah, you guys, 2 thumbs up for me. I love this thing. If I can find another scent that I love as much as the vanilla crumb cake, I would totally pick up another one of these as of right now. Clearly, we have a little ways to go until we finish, but just based off of what I'm experiencing so far, I'm really pleased, and Candleberry seems to have a lot of great scents to choose from. A lot of you swear by their, I think it's the Maple Hot Toddy. And that is a scent that I am interested in trying, just not this time of year. I think that might be a nicer fall type fragrance. So I will certainly be testing out more from this brand, so stay tuned. I appreciate you guys following along on this little journey with old Gladys LaFontaine here. We're gonna continue to check in every couple weeks, and let's see how long it takes me to get through this bad boy. Let me know if you have ever picked up one of these cookie jars and which scent you chose. Let me know how it burned, especially at the halfway point. I think that's the point that I'm most curious to get to, is just kind of halfway there, to see how it does with the last part of the burn. But so far, so good for sure. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Check out Candleberry. I will put a link for them in the description box right below this video. Tons of fragrances to choose from, lots of different formats, so be sure to check them out. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Stay tuned for one more review coming up a little bit later on today, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.